Clay Travis says that he would bet $1 million that a state championship winning boys team, high school team, would beat the WNBA champions, Las Vegas Aces, right? And so, and we've seen this before with the high school boys playing the soccer team, the U.S. national soccer team. And the women lost 5-2, right? But after hearing his original statement about this before the bet, Chelsea Gray responded by saying this to him. Let's go to the Black Conservative Perspective channel for the video.
After Chelsea Gray, who's a guard for the Aces, called Clay a dumbass for claiming that a good high school boys championship caliber team could smoke a WNBA team. She said he was a dumbass. And at that point, that's when he said, okay, well, I'll put $1 million on it.
So let's go to Clay Travis's original rant that started this back and forth.
Would smoke the best team in the WNBA. Let me repeat that because it's true and it's important. A good state championship level boys high school team would absolutely smoke the WNBA champions. Give me a team from California, New York, Texas, or Florida. I would bet my entire savings in the bank that the boys' high school team would beat the WNBA team. Give me 25 or more state champions. Oh, because some states are small, right? Like, I don't know how many people play high school basketball in Wyoming. I don't know how many people play in Rhode Island, right? Like, some states don't have that big a population. So the state championship basketball team might not be very good there. But for the 25 largest states in America, every single one of those states has a state champion boys basketball team that would obliterate the WNBA champion in a game.
And keep in mind, he said a high school team. He could have upped the ante and really had him shook if he would have said an AAU team, high school. Because now you're taking players from here, there, and everywhere and putting them together. Y'all will really be shook if he said that.
Now, look, some people like middle school, low-level high school basketball. Most of those people we call parents. But if you love the WNBA, you can go buy your WNBA tickets and you can go sit courtside. For most of us, we would rather have $5 in cash than the WNBA team in our city win a championship. That's because the WNBA doesn't have fans. And it's not because the media won't cover the WNBA. ESPN shoves the WNBA down our throats, even though nobody cares, because they have to do it as part of their partnership with the NBA. The WNBA's never made any money because people don't care, because women don't care. You know who actually go watch the WNBA? Men. Men are WNBA fans, and there aren't very many of them, but that's who actually goes and watches. So what's interesting about this is when I say all of these, which are irrefutably true, and when I point out that the WNBA has existed basically for 25 years now, a quarter of a century, that it still has no fans, that people still don't care at all about the WNBA, people are like, oh my goodness, how dare you? This is so sexist of you. It's such a misogynistic thing to say. No, it just means the sport sucks. And most sports fans don't care about it at all. And of course, at ESPN, they've got a white knight for the WNBA. So this all started because they said, oh, New York City has a new big three. And then they shared a picture of three people that nobody knew. That is artificial engineering, right? If you tell me something that is not true, right? Everybody knew the original big three. Everybody knows Kyrie Irving. Everybody knows James Harden. Everybody knows Kevin Durant. You might not love the NBA. You would recognize, if you are a sports fan, all three of those people. Most of you can't even name 3 WNBA franchises. I don't even know how many there are. Most of you can't name 5 total WNBA players. Even if you're a diehard basketball fan, you can't do that. That's because the product sucks. And in a capitalistic marketplace, if your product sucks, you lose.
So after hearing this rant, this is where Chelsea Gray decided to call Clay Travis out his name. And since then, his response was, he said, okay, I'll put $1 million on it then.
It's been 24 hours since Clay Travis issued a challenge to the Las Vegas Aces and so far Crickets. The Outkick founder is challenging the WNBA champion to play a game against a boys high school basketball team. The winner gets $1 million. It's because Aces guard Chelsea Gray called Clay a, quote, dumbass for claiming, quote, a good state championship caliber high school boys team would smoke the best team in the WNBA. Outkick reached out to both the Aces and the WNBA for comment, but we have not received a response. Meanwhile, Clay's offer stands. If the Aces lose, they have to pony up $1 million, which he will donate to the boys' high school team. But if the Aces win, they will get $1 million of Clay's own money. In fact, he's upping the ante. Quote, I am thinking about putting the game on pay-per-view if the Aces will agree to play. He posted on X Saturday. I think we might be able to make more money from their game against the boys team than the entire WNBA makes in a year. Would definitely be the most popular WNBA game ever. I agree with him on that. I would pay so much money to watch that, right?
And all I can say is I have never wanted to watch a WNBA game more than this. Would I pay-per-view it? I don't know if I'm doing all that because I'm cheap, but I'll definitely go sit somewhere else and watch it though. But this is easily the most anticipated game that I've never watched a WNBA game. I barely even ever watched the highlights. I want to see this one though. Only time I even got interested was with the LSU back and forth. And then I was like, oh, I think I want to see that next game. You know what I'm saying? Because they was battling or whatever, right? The little antics in the game. But this, I want to see it. I want to see it so we can just put this argument to bed. Listen, for the people that like to watch the WNBA, that is fine. It's fine for you. I don't watch the NBA that much. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's too many games. I'm not keeping up with all the teams. Like, holler at me when you get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? There's only certain teams and games that I really want to be like, okay, I want to sit down and watch this whole game. Other than that, I'm watching the highlights. All right? Catch the highlights, boom, boom, boom. Then when it starts to get serious, you know, get to the playoff, okay, now I'm ready to watch some full games and really get into this. You know what I'm saying? Or creeping up to the playoffs or this, that, and that. Unless your job pertains specifically to sports. You know? Then you have to pay attention to it. And then plus, I'm more of a football fan than a basketball fan. But even with football, it's the same way. It's like, you know, it takes a lot of time to devote to watching. So no, most people ain't watching that many games. But if I'm going to take my time to sit down and watch a game, it is not going to be women's basketball. It's not going to be women's anything, for the most part. Let's just volleyball and stuff like that. Y'all know the blue uniform. Don't get mad at me, man. Don't get mad at me. You know you're thinking the same thing. Hey, but the one league, the football league, it was the lingerie league, you know. That what got me to tune in. But they was actually banging, though. It was like they was banging on the field. Like, it was some chicks that could play. Like, even if they weren't in lingerie, if they were fully clothed, I'm like, I could watch some of this because it's just more exciting. You get bigger plays. Like, I don't get as much of that feeling when I watch the WNBA. It's no dunking. It's not that exciting. I know some of y'all can play, but it's just not. I don't get that same feeling. And let's be understood. That lingerie football league is in no way comparable to NFL men's football. It's just not. It doesn't compare to men's football. You know what I'm saying? It's more exciting, but it doesn't compare. And the same applies. A male high school state championship team would smash them as well. So I'll give you when you have a women's sport that is somewhat entertaining. I'll give that to you. WNBA is not it for me, for sure. It ain't it for a lot of people. And then when you talk about can a high school team beat them, listen, they haven't responded because they shook. High school play, and it ain't no easy feat. Like high school players, especially the boys, they are basically grown men. 18, they out here diesel throwing bowls and slapping people. So it is what it is. I'm just trying to explain to women that men's mass and physical autonomy and athleticism is just stronger than that of a woman. And that's just how it was naturally made to be. And that's okay. We got our lane and y'all got y'all's. Y'all keep trying to mix everything with the pronouns and all of that. Stop it. You know? And either way you slice it with this bet, it's a lose-lose battle. That's why they haven't responded. If they lose to the males high school, then it's going to be like, it disproves what y'all keep trying to say, that y'all so entertaining and women's equal as men and all that. And then if you beat them, it's like, what, you gonna celebrate? Yeah, we beat the high school team. You're supposed to. You're a professional WNBA team. You should have beat them, right? So either way, it's a lose-lose. Just be silent, take your L, and we'll stay in our respective lanes. This is your boy P. Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think.